Oh darling, let me tell you the tragic tale of the University of East Anglia UEA, Norwich, a place where dreams go to die, where hope is crushed under the weight of incompetence, and where the word support is just a cruel joke. Imagine, if you will, a grand open day, supposedly your first glimpse into your future. You arrive, bright-eyed, clutching your dreams like fragile glass. But instead of warmth, you are met with a history tutor who might as well have a neon sign flashing, "I am better than you," above his head. He drones on, not about the subject, but about his own brilliance, his eyes glazing over the second you mention coming from a working-class background. Oh, the horror, the drama tutor, even worse. She couldn't be bothered to speak to you, like at all, just stood there, cold as a statue, while your enthusiasm withered like a flower in winter. And you think is this what higher education is? A place where they make you feel stupid for daring to care. But oh, it gets worse. Let us talk about support, or should I say, the lack of it. Picture this, you're a student with special needs, struggling, reaching out for help. And what does UEA do? Nothing, absolutely nothing. No sympathy, no care, just empty promises and paperwork shoved in your face. Meanwhile, students are drowning glittery in despair, with suicide attempts and deaths brushed under the rug like they ray nothing. And the worst part, they know they ray failing and they don't care. Then there's the librario, the library. You drive 26 miles, 26, just to get one book for your assignment. But oops, you forgot your ID. No problem, right? Wrong. The staff who've let you in before suddenly turn into gatekeepers of the most petty kingdom on earth. No ID, no book, no exceptions, not even if you ray on night shift, not even if you have kids to feed, not even if you ray begging. Because Rule 7, the dumbest, most nonsensical ones here, more important than students. And don't even get me started on graduation day, the day that's supposed to be your moment, your celebration. Instead, chaos. Incompetent staff holding up everyone, blocking parking for 20 minutes because they can organize a simple procession. Parents, guests, you all standing there waiting while the so-called well-to-do university crumbles under the weight of its own disorganization. 3 years of blood, sweat, and tears ruined by sheer ineptitude. Oh, but wait, there's more. The car park system, a masterpiece of failure. You go to a gig, you have fun, shocking, I know, and then bum, you ray trapped. 2 machines, too. For hundreds of people, you queue for an hour just to pay £1. 1 single pound, and the staff, nowhere to be seen. No QR codes, no apps, just archaic nonsense designed to make you suffer. And the academics. Oh, sweet summer child. The lectures are disorganized, the campus is a concrete wasteland, and the tutors, they have favorites. If you ray not one of them, tough luck, no help for you. Meanwhile, students who don't even attend class somehow pass, while those who work their fingers to the bone get failed. Why? Money. Because UEA would rather fill seats with paying bodies than actually educate anyone. And Norwich. Oh, Norwich, a town so sleepy, it makes Cambridge look like New York. No nightlife, no transport past 10 p.m., no anything unless you enjoy staring at walls. So here's the truth, my loves, UEA is a scam. A beautifully packaged lie, sold to bright minds who deserve so much better. A place where dreams are crushed, where students are ignored. Now we look at the businesses that sit close to the University of East Anglia and see what a visitor can really expect. In a word, the picture is bleak. Most places seem to promise more than they deliver, prices feel steep, and service often feels cold. That feeling of disappointment lingers like a heavy cloud, and it is worth understanding why, so you do not walk in hoping for a bright experience only to be left feeling let down. Restaurants near the campus frequently miss the mark. The Jade Tree, for example, appears charming at first glance, but a single incident shows how quickly a friendly atmosphere can turn sour. A shopper was accused of taking photos and was confronted without a chance to explain, leaving a bitter taste that colors the whole shop. That single episode hints at a broader attitude where staff guard their space more aggressively than they protect guests. The Chinese eatery Baby Buddha illustrates a deeper pattern of frustration. Across many reviews, the common thread is that food quality has slipped, prices have risen, and the service has become unhelpful. One longtime customer describes how orders placed through a delivery app were cancelled repeatedly, how the restaurant changed its opening hours without clear notice, and how a phone call about accessibility ended with the caller being hurried off the line. The same diners complain of overly oily and salty dishes, dry rice, soggy pork, and a menu that now tastes more like a rushed cafeteria than a celebrated takeout. The repeated mention of high prices for small portions and a feeling of being ignored suggests that the whole dining experience here is riddled with disappointment. Nightlife and bars in the area share a similar story of unmet expectations. Frank's Bar, despite its popularity among students, frequently receives comments about food that is bland, cold, or poorly prepared. One patron recounts a plate of mussels that contained sand and a dead shell. Another talks about bacon that was hard enough to bounce. And yet another mentions a long wait for drinks that never seemed justified by the price. The overall sense is that a lively atmosphere does not compensate for food that fails to meet even basic standards. Shopping centers and department stores also add to the gloom. Gerald's, a historic name on the high street, now appears riddled with service failures. Customers speak of staff who are indifferent or outright rude, of long waits for assistance, and of billing errors that left shoppers waiting days for refunds while receiving little communication. One shopper tells of a £223 charge that was taken twice, of emails that vanished into a void, and of a manager who preferred silence over solving the problem. The repeated experience of being ignored or brushed aside paints a picture of a store that has lost the customer focus it once boasted. The modern Malchantry place suffers from a different set of issues, but the outcome is the same: frustration. Visitors note that the car park is poorly designed, that entry and exit barriers often break down, and that the prices for a car wash are absurdly high for a service that leaves the vehicles still dirty. A further complaint describes a security team that is unfriendly and a night assistance desk that treats a lost set of keys with rudeness. The combined effect is a shopping environment that feels hostile rather than welcoming. Gyms in the neighborhood, represented by the gym group on Hall Road, consistently disappoint members. Reports describe dirty changing rooms with wet floors, equipment that is either missing or broken, and staff who are unhelpful and sometimes dismissive. One member discovered that a cancelled direct debit also cancelled her paid for month, leaving her unable to train. Others speak of memberships that vanish without warning and of a lack of any wait area, making the promise of a full fitness center feel like a joke. Cultural attractions are not immune either.
The Shoebox Experiences, which markets itself as a hidden street tour, offers a history lesson in a cramped basement that many visitors describe as less than impressive. Reviewers mention stairs that lead to a tiny room, cemented floors instead of cobblestones, and a guide who, while knowledgeable, cannot compensate for an environment that feels more like an under-maintained cellar than a historic lane. The price tag of around £15 per person therefore feels excessive for what is essentially a short talk in a narrow space. Across all these businesses, the pattern is unmistakable: promises are lofty, execution is weak, and customers often leave feeling cheated. For a traveler planning a stay near the university, this translates into a few practical warnings. Expect food to be pricey and sometimes lacking in flavor, be prepared for service that may be indifferent, and double-check opening hours and accessibility before arriving. When using the car park at the Mall, allow extra time for potential delays. If you need a gym, consider alternatives outside the immediate area to avoid the described cleanliness and equipment issues. And if you are drawn to the Shoebox Experience, temper your expectations. You will hear fascinating stories, but the surroundings may not match the romantic image sold.
I am looking into crimes near University of East Anglia, Norwich, and it feels like the shops around campus have a habit of taking advantage of short-term visitors. Businesses near University of East Anglia are often small stalls or street stores that seem friendly but sometimes hide cheap copies behind big brand names. One high street shop sold fake designer bags and shoes to tourists who thought they were getting real luxury items. The victims probably realized the fraud when they got home and saw the cheap stitching, so they most likely contacted their bank or the police, tried to get a refund, and felt embarrassed. The shop was later raided, the owner fined, and the counterfeit stock seized, but the tourists probably never recovered all the money they spent. Another kind of trouble is card cloning at a convenience store close to Norwich Market, just a short walk from the university. The card reader had a hidden skimming device that copied details from tourist cards. After the purchase, the victims most likely noticed strange withdrawals on their statements, froze their cards, and called their banks. They probably felt anxious for the rest of their 2-week stay and had to cancel cards, while the employee involved was arrested and the device removed. The store probably faced a temporary closure and a bad reputation. A third pattern is overcharging at an electronics shop in the Colney area that many visiting students use. The shop advertises